Well guys, for me it's safe to say that the plague territories are pretty insane, and it's even more crazy if you play in the lethal zone, as I've lost multiple characters, but man oh man, having played now a couple of dozen hours in both the green zone and lethal, you can tell there is a big change with how your playthrough is going to play out. Before I go further, hit that red subscribe button below to always be up to date with all State of Decay content as I cover news, guides, and playthroughs, especially since 90% of you watching still have not subscribed to this channel. So if you guys don't know how the new plague territories work, I'm going to give you a quick recap. Almost the entire map's going to be engulfed with this red mist, and any buildings under it will be shrouded, meaning you don't get a lot of information. Now you can see some, but mostly you won't get much unless you clear the plague hearts. So if you want a key base to move into, you're going to have to clear the nearby plague hearts to get it, or if you want a key outpost, especially since this update has the new landmark outpost that gives huge bonuses. Again, you're going to need to clear out the area. Not only that, but every zombie that typically spawns in these areas are automatically plague zombies. So a group of zombies that aren't typically much of a threat become a massive threat, because even if you clear out a group, more can spawn in, and every plague zombie and freak give increased plague infection inside the plague territories. So one bite from a normal plague zombie in lethal means you're all but infected. This is literally high stakes every time you enter in a plague territory, and makes having plague cures one of the most valuable items in the game. Now keep in mind, I decided to start a fresh community. Obviously you might not have as hard a time if you go in with a full veteran group who are all leveled up and have all the weapons and all the good stuff. But if you want an insane challenge, this is the way to go in full lethal. In just a dozen hours I've lost 2 people. I'm down to just 2 left. The reason I've lost them again is due to the plague territories giving that increased infection, and I'm just not prepared for it. Me not able to farm enough plague samples at the start too makes it really hard in general just to farm them, just because I'm always on the run. Also just general noob mistakes from myself, and me just picking the game back up after about 8 months, and lethal zone in general is new to me, but I can tell I'd have a much easier time without the plague territory. The lack of information from building to building, because you can't actually see what you've looted in some areas, and even though they've buffed the regular outpost to give more resources, the fact that I'm very confined to such a small space because I'm not strong enough to take out key plague hearts. Like for instance, I would love to take over Sasserman Hospital. That could give me the opportunity to have a +30 to infection resistance, +1 meds each day, but the strength for my community just isn't there to go to the middle of the map and do all of that, especially with a fresh playthrough. Now I did get to experience the plague territory with a green zone group, and more than anything, the plague territory for the green zone is really more of a nuisance. You don't really get much infection when you're actually bit. If you're someone who doesn't care to take on the plague hearts, or you just don't like to take on those types of challenges and you really like to avoid that conflict, you're really not going to enjoy the plague territories, because everything is still going to be shrouded in this red mist, and you're not going to be able to take over key areas. But luckily, just taking out a few hearts does open up a ton of space, versus in lethal, it might actually take you a couple of hearts just to free up one little base or one little outpost that you're looking for. Overall, changes like this to the game really have me at the edge of my seat in every single playthrough on lethal. The strategic choices that I need to make going forward really change up the aspect of how to survive versus what I would have done if there wasn't a plague territory. I would easily just recruit, get into the base that I need to, hit up the new landmark outpost, and ride somewhat of an easy train. But I think the addition of the plague territory really shines in the higher tier difficulties. Once this update goes live, I think a lot of you are going to enjoy it no matter which difficulty you play in, because it really does change up the dynamic in a good way. Regular Zeds now are always a huge threat because there is constant packs of plague zombies, and now ferals within a plague territory, even one has me quitting the game sometimes if I'm in an unprepared situation to fight them, because I know I'm gonna have a bad time. With all that, guys, let me know so far, are you guys excited for these upcoming changes? Are you hoping to see this hit the live update soon? What are your overall thoughts on the plague territories? Are they a good addition or a bad one? I read all your comments. Make sure you write down below. Also, guys, make sure you subscribe to always be up to date with all State of Decay news and content. My name is Sunny. As always, stay safe, survivors.